So now I'm gonna, we've done everything on top of the seat now, just about everything. So I'm gonna bevel off the bottom of the seat. I start with beveling off the front. As you can see, I still haven't cut off the back. It's to be able to clamp it in the vise here. So first thing I'll do is just cut this thing off, and I'll come down here somewhere. I want to, I don't know, take it to where it looks good. I want a slight convex roll to it. The cut is just like it was up on the other side. It's kind of counterintuitive. I'm going to pull into my body, and that's where the strength is. I've got it skewed, and I'm slicing it the whole way. So that's the kind of. Now it'll let me reach over pretty far. I take it right up to nothing. I got the left elbow locked against my body and this shoulder locked here for control. Well, left elbow slides along my body. So I've done it all with the draw knife. You can leave it like that, come back in and maybe take out a little bit of the heavy facets on it if you want. I spoke shave it. I go to the spoke shave with its convex this way because I've got a little sweep right there. These are finished cuts here, so this doesn't touch. Of course, anything you touch it with would just mess it up. This shave leaves a beautiful surface. So I have this knife edge up here now, and it's also what came off the bandsaw. So I true it up. Now I have a nicer line there. I put the Eris back in it, only this time it's a lot blunter. So I get the same look, that nice sharp, crisp look I want in the front, but it's a little bit tougher because it's a little blunter. The next thing I go to is the back of the seat. I can't do this area, which is the hardest cut on the whole chair, until I do the back, and then I combine the two. So now I have to cut off the back. So let's go. back now. I marked a line 3/4 inch from the bottom. I don't mark a line down here, but if you need one, I'd go down about a 1/2 inch or so here. And this is going to be a flat bevel, and then I'm going to do a second one in between this flat and this one. So I'm going to end up with 3 flats, and then that's going to enable me to take the spoke shave and round it. So what I'm trying to do is just like when I worked the spindles, and I gave myself reference points and kept those reference points, and by the time you get to the spoke shave, all you're doing is cutting the area between the center of the flats. So here you go. So now as I get around to this end grain, I really have to skew it. And now here comes the second flat. And then I'll get this while I'm over here on this side. There we go. Now I'll go to the spoke shave on this. So I'll go to the spoke shave. We've got a flat spoke shave here. And just take off that corner. So there we go there, and the spoke shave of course couldn't get all the way down to the bottom, but I went back with the draw knife and took some really light cuts there to finish that up. So now I can work on the tail here. Now you don't want to cut past the center line, or when you look at the chair from the side you'll see a little gap right there. So these spoke shave cuts and some of these draw knife cuts are finished cuts. So you want them nice and crisp and clean. So down here in this V, you want that really clean. It's easy to do with the draw knife. Draw knife's the tool for that. And I have to get this whole area right here with the draw knife. Okay. So now I can take a spoke shave right here. And you want to pay close attention to these lines. Make sure they're nice and straight. And over here I'll be doing the same thing, but I've got this one now. So I've got this one side. Now I can turn my attention to this cove in here. So here we are, really the trickiest part of the whole chair. I do this with a draw knife. It's the finished cut. The draw knife is the tool for it. What you want to watch for is you want to maintain that nice line. Now that line is straightened out some, but you still want it nice and crisp and straight. You don't want it running back like that, which you would get from turning the draw knife that way. The other is you got to watch out. You'll cut a V down here. And to keep from cutting the V is try not to get to that depth till the very end, and always turn and come out of the cut. So I'm going to start from this position right here and just work my way back up. But you can see me always coming out of that cut. Now I'm slicing too. I'm slicing and I'm skewing with it. Okay? Now, and you got to have a short bevel on the draw knife, real short, because what happens is as you make that turn, this curve, the back of the draw knife, the heel up here, will go into that curve and it'll kick it off, and you'll get all these little marks down through there. So you don't want those. So there you go. There's that side. Now I do this side. Now I'm going to start just the opposite up here. I'm going to get rid of a bunch of this material up here first. And what you can't probably see is I've really got my elbows and my shoulders locked. This one up here is just sliding, my left hand sliding up against my body for control, because I don't want to slip and go into here. So I'm in no hurry to get down to the bottom. This is not how fast can you make a chair, this is how good can you make a chair. Got a little bit right there. Like I said, you got to watch it. You'll cut a V in there really quick. So I got a little bit of trash right there I can get rid of. So that's the draw knife work. So you can see that nice line that comes around. This kind of works like a ribbon and turns. I can do a tad bit of spoke shave work right here to blend those areas in. Come around this side. Okay. Well, I'm completely done with the seat, and so I want you to look at it real close so we can go over it. You look where the important parts are on it. So on this tail, you know, you've got these lines right here that I was talking about. Make sure you pay attention to those. They're crisp and clean and straight. Make sure your end grain has been cut good. That's a draw knife cut right there, and the draw knife is the ultimate end grain tool. Nothing cuts end grain like the knife does. Down in here, sharp and crisp and clean. Don't cut through there. You see I got to come all the way to that center line, but don't cut through it or you'll see a gap when you look from the side. Turn it around to the cove there, keeping all that intact, nice and crisp and clean. And line coming around the edge. And when you're cutting this, be sure you don't get into this or you'll change the whole profile up here on this seat. So I guess that's about it on the seat. We'll see what comes next.